Hello, I'm Mary Michelle from Ostrero, an organisation we founded in 2016 to grow the circular economy in Scotland. Today we're going to tell you a bit about what the circular economy is, why it matters, and how it might help us build back better after COVID-19.
Hi, I'm Marion Brown from Ostrero. We'll also show you how a circular economy can help us to design things differently. And we'll then take you through a circular economy design project. So grab a pen and pencil and join in.
The circular economy is about designing out waste and keeping materials at their highest value for as long as possible. It's not about recycling. That's thinking about the end of life of a product. Rather, it's about thinking about the whole life cycle from the minute you start designing. It's the opposite from the kind of economic system we currently exist in, which is known as a linear economy. So there we think and make in straight lines. We take things out of the ground, we make something with them, we use them, maybe only once, and then we chuck them away without really worrying too much about where they end up. In contrast, in a circular economy, we're thinking in loops and circles. Like in nature, everything is designed to feed into something else, and there's very little waste. And in a circular economy, everything is powered by renewable energy. So why do we need a circular economy? Well, it's estimated that in Scotland, we're using the resources of not one, but 3 planets every year, which is clearly not sustainable. In addition, the world's resources are becoming increasingly rare and hard to extract. One example that came out of recent global stock checks was indium. That's the material that makes the screen of your smartphone touch responsive. If we continue to use indium at the same rates as we are now, there's only enough left for another 12 years. Silver has 17 years and oil 37. In addition, there are more and more people. We're expecting 3 billion more people on the world in the next 30 years. So we've got more people and fewer resources. We need to think about how we can share those resources more fairly now and for the future. We're also having a huge impact on plants and wildlife and the climate. Friends of the Earth estimate there's been a 60% decline in species populations since the 1960s. One small local example of this is that of Lulu, the killer whale. She was washed up on the beaches of Tiree a few years ago, and the beaches and the water there are beautiful and clean and clear, but when scientists did tests on her body, they found that she was one of the most polluted animals to be found anywhere in the world. She had more than 20 times the safe levels of plastic in her system and had never been able to have a calf because of this. So scientists think that her pod and many others like it will go extinct because of the way that we treat our waste. So we've got fewer resources, more people, and we're harming our environment and wildlife. But in the face of all this, we just keep buying more stuff. Think about how many people buy a new phone as soon as the next version comes out, and how many of the old phones just end up in landfill. In fact, in Scotland, in the last 4 years, £50 million worth of gold has gone to landfill, hidden in our e-waste. So that's in our phones, mobiles, laptops, all kinds of electronic equipment, all gone to waste. And there's waste like this in so much of what we do, we just don't necessarily think about it or see it. So for example, a car sits unused 92% of the time. We throw away 33% of our food production, and the average power tool is only used for 13 minutes in its whole life. So if you think about all the amazing resources that have gone into designing and making these products, only for them to sit pretty much unused for most of their working life, it just seems like such a waste. The good news is that the circular economy can help us design things differently and cut out a lot of that waste.
The pandemic has shown us how connected the world is and how outdated our current linear, wasteful and unstable economic system is. It's also shown us that we're more capable of change than perhaps we ever thought we were. Because of the pandemic, we've been forced to think about how we will build back our systems. We now have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape our economy. And the exciting question is, if we have to build back our systems, can we do it in a way that is better for people and for the planet? During lockdown, we at Ostrero did some work with school children across Scotland, and we asked them about some of the positive things that had come out of lockdown and whether those things could help us to build back better. Some of the things that they came up with were that there were stronger communities, there was less pollution, We've been making things last, making the most of technology, and vitally, that there was a mindset for change, understanding that impactful change is possible while still being able to have a meaningful and really good life. Matilda, who's aged 9, said, "The lockdown is proof that we can change how we live to help our planet. We can live without shopping for joy, and we can travel less or in a pollution-free way, and we can still be happy." There is work to be done. Currently, only 8.6% of global resources are used in a circular way. Moving forward, we have to make sure that we use the huge amounts of money that we'll spend on our recovery to support the green, inclusive societies that we need for tomorrow. The circular economy offers us a realistic framework in which to address the urgent environmental issues that we face. It provides us with workable solutions to cutting out waste and using our resources more cleverly. It's about business and opportunity. It provides us with a framework for a positive future that is entirely possible and achievable.
So the good news is that the circular economy gives us this really good framework for better design, for designing out waste. We're now going to take you through a circular design using 5 key circular design principles. We're going to design a necklace, but you could apply these principles to anything, to any product or system that you're designing. Let's take the principles one by one.
So Mary and I started thinking about the fashion industry in jewellery and how when something breaks or goes out of fashion, it can often end up in landfill. So how could the principles of a circular economy help us take a different approach? In this task, we're going to do some circular economy design. The first principle of the circular economy is that we're trying to transform waste into value. First, we think about the material. And in this case, what I'm going to use is a phone and a laptop. And what we're going to do is take the gold that's kept inside these electronic devices, and we're going to use that to make ourselves a gold necklace out of this waste material. Now, this is very exciting because at the moment in Edinburgh and at Dundee universities, they're working on a collaborative project, and that is to discover whether or not they can remove the gold that you find in electronics and recover it for different purposes. And at the moment, as Mary said, there's £50 million worth of gold that's come into Scotland over the last 4 years and is hidden away, hidden treasure inside these electronic devices. So we're going to use that to make this gold necklace out of recovered gold. Now, the circular economy is powered by renewable energy. It's important to use clean renewable energy in circular design. Now, what we're going to do here for the purposes of our removal of the gold from the electronic items is use some solar energy and some renewable wind energy. So I'm drawing here a wind turbine, and that's feeding into this process where we're removing gold. In circular economy, items are designed for disassembly. Now, how many times has a member of your family found that when their phone breaks or the television breaks, that there's really nothing you can do about it? You don't even know how to open it. So even if you wanted to fix it, you don't, and it ends up in landfill. You get a new one. My necklace here, though, is going to be designed for disassembly. Well, if you design things for disassembly, this stops being a problem. This means that you design things so that they can easily be taken apart again, so that it can be fixed and updated and then properly recycled at the end of its life. So here I've got the necklace and the clip and the pendant all being separate items so that they can be taken apart at the end of their life and used again. Circular design is also inspired by nature. In nature, a bird might take a berry that's fallen from a tree, eat it and then drop it about a mile away. In doing so, the bird has fed itself, but it's also caused the regeneration of the tree. In our idea of a necklace, we are going to be the seed carriers, so the pendant in this necklace is made from seed paper. And at the end of its life, or whenever you want to, the seed paper can be taken and planted. I'm going to imagine that the seeds that are in this necklace are going to grow a lovely flower, and perhaps that's going to be nice for the bees. Finally, a circular economy is multifunctional. So here we're thinking about how materials can be used to their maximum value. Each material doing more than one thing, so you're getting the most out of your resources. In my necklace, the multifunction comes from the fact that you can change the pendant according to fashion, and you can change the seeds in the pendant according to the different seasons, but also it also acts as something that's capable of growing something later on. So here are the principles of circular design. We've got waste to value, it's powered by renewable energy, it's designed for disassembly, it's inspired by nature, and it's multifunctional. Applying these principles, you can get thinking about designing all kinds of things, from pens to shoes to clothes to glasses to cars to everything. Everything else could be changed in a circular economy. It's just time for you to get stuck in.
So now you know a bit more about the circular economy and how it can help us design out waste. If you manage to come up with your own circular design, please share it with us via email or Twitter. We'd love to see what you've come up with. This is a really strange time with new rules and new boundaries for everyone. But let's take this opportunity to build back a better society, a better economy, and a better environment, now and for future generations. Thank you so much for listening.